Hello and welcome to a KT Coffee Break. Today's topic is building beyond a problem-solving culture, in which we will explore those factors that can impede and accelerate your organization's performance. We are living in a world in which it is increasingly difficult to rely on the future. This volatility is present in everything around us. A drought in Taiwan can have profound implications for the global supply chain of silicon chipsets, especially in the light of a global pandemic. While we understand what causes these conditions and their ramifications, this surprising shift in fortunes increasingly is a part of the daily operations of most businesses. Combined with that volatility is the sense that even though we have access to huge amounts of data, often at our fingertips, there is a high amount of uncertainty also touching everything around us. Things that we have relied on in the past are not necessarily reliable in the present. There are so many factors that might influence us, it becomes difficult to know where or how to focus first. Into this mix come the seeds of chaos. A ransomware attack on a major oil pipeline network can result in panic gasoline buying and an exacerbation of the problem across a whole section of the country. A group of day traders powered by an inexpensive app can play havoc with the stock prices of companies caught in a short squeeze. The law of unintended consequences is continually revealed when actions are not well considered and risks mitigated. Until finally, we add the last piece in this exhausting puzzle, the impact of ambiguity. In the absence of good data or the ability to recognize patterns in the systems around us, we are sideswiped by hidden causal relationships or unknown unknowns. With no solid foundation from which to act, we are left to try again in our attempts to make headway in our value generation efforts. And too often, when our efforts are less than successful, it is difficult to truly diagnose why. Let's face it, we're all living in complex adaptive systems. Anticipating both positive and negative effects of our decisions, understanding the interests, power, and interaction between multiple actors, and planning for the delayed and distal impact of decisions are essential for effective decision-making in complex adaptive systems environments. Failure to appreciate these efforts often leads to a series of simplistic interventions or fixes. So, to focus on the future, you must deal with the demands of the present, and that often means you are wrestling with the past. So how do we do that? We've got to get ahead of the curve. Great things happen when we are deterministic and intentional. This requires forethought, certainly, but it also requires that we have a systematic and consistent approach for wrestling with issues. We need to understand our resources at hand and marshal them accordingly, aligning them to our purpose through our thoughts and actions. Leaders need to be clear about what we must contend with, and then need to extend that clarity into the behavior of their organizations. We need to make our thinking visible, like this mind map, to help us determine where to pay attention. What we attend to is what gets done. These organizations that are living at the whim of their past poor decisions rarely reach for greatness, as they're always firefighting the outcomes of the past. So establishing frameworks that are reliable, repeatable, and consistent is key. Kepner Tregoe's methods were not invented out of thin air. Our legacy is based on years of observational research and practical field-based application, helping some of the biggest companies in the world achieve billions in savings and results by focusing effectively on resolving the problems that are impeding their value generation. And it's because we help our clients respond to the most pressing needs of the day. For example, every day for the next 10 years, 10,000 baby boomers in the United States are leaving full-time employment. Every single day. They're going to walk out the door with years of tacit knowledge, skills, and experience, and many organizations aren't prepared. Using our methods, we can help bridge their departure so that it's not such a shock to the system of the business. Recently, a report was produced in which 77% of CEOs reported that the pandemic sped up their company's digital transformation plans. Great, sounds like a perfect opportunity. However, success rates for digital transformation efforts are appallingly low. Many organizations rush to boost headcount and budget, hiring teams of talented engineers, data scientists, and cybersecurity experts without a shared, clear understanding of what they actually intend. KT processes can help smooth the way. Increasingly, organizations are contending with the capability and complexity gap. The capabilities of the people in their organization to address the rapidly rising complexity of the business landscape is wide and growing wider. Part of the reason for this continuing state is that organizations are not stripping away the inessential, primarily because they don't know what that is. Instead, everything is always important, which means nothing is. Imagine, if you will, that the United Nations Security Council held its meetings without the use of a translator. Imagine leaders from various countries trying to solve challenging problems without understanding clearly what the others are saying. How effective would they be? Isn't it likely that there would be major misunderstandings that could lead to serious consequences, if nothing but gridlock? Many organizations face similar scenarios when they attempt to collaborate internally or with external partners and stakeholders, and they get stuck. While cross-organization collaboration is central to solving the complex, wicked problems of our times, each part of the business is unique and often has its own way of approaching problems. Without a common language or translator, this can lead to stilted progress and wasted time. What's needed is a framework for visualizing complex problems and a common language for talking about them. Tackling the biggest problems means practicing the beginner's mind. This approach is not unstructured. It doesn't mean you show up like an empty suit. You have to come prepared, not with answers, but with effective questions. You must be willing to look beyond what you know, to incorporate the knowledge and skills and perspectives of those around you, to identify the true cause of the problems you faced, not just the most pressing symptoms, and then you can arrive at more robust solutions. And before you get started, you might first want to make sure you are focusing on the correct issues. In our experience, we see large amounts of time wasted in either addressing incorrect priorities or limited attempts at prioritizing the issues of the day, or the week, or the month, let alone strategic priorities. Sorry, another topic for another time. The best problem-solving cultures are those that are clear about their order of concerns and plans and build a collaboration and capability set to address them in concert. But we can't hide. Issues critical to the life of the organization will keep coming at us, and we must address them. In facing the reality of our messy world, we begin to bring some structure to the chaos and some certainty where previously we had been swamped by the unknown. It's our duty to step up to leading our organizations out of their volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and ambiguous circumstances. We, at KT, bring to the table a shared mental operating system. Kepner Tregoe's suite of critical thinking skills helps organizations focus on what matters. It helps teams deliver significant value and individuals increase the impact of their efforts while also creating a platform for accelerating their careers. People who know what to focus on, how to focus on it, and how to help others focus and execute are the lifeblood of an organization. And those who know KT processes are just these kinds of people. They are the people who help drive an organization's creativity and innovation. They create opportunities for others to share their knowledge and experience in ways that create significant value. By helping to move away from the cluster of pressing problems, the organization can begin to pay attention to more clear-eyed decision-making efforts, and also effective and more focused risk management. From these small successes, momentum starts to build. The best performing organizations have systems in place that support effective resolution of issues. They align people, processes, and technology to unleash the power and creativity of their people, to tackle the most pressing concerns, and to generate ever-increasing value. They recognize that telling people to do more with less, or to work smarter, not harder, without the benefit of providing a method for doing that, is foolish at best, and at its most destructive, is ill-intentioned, rarely yielding the desired results. How might you unleash the potential of your organization? By empowering your people to think rigorously and act with forethought? Consider Kepner Tregoe. We've been helping organizations transform their challenges and opportunities into results for over 60 years. We're ready to help.